Since the history of the Babylonian Empire intersects with the history of many other ancient civilizations, I will spend only one cursory lecture discussing the end of the Babylonian Empire. If you wish to know more, then I recommend you take a history course with someone who knows more about Babylonian history than I do. As I said before in a previous History 01 lecture, Hammurabi founded the Babylonian Empire in 1763 BC by conquering the Sumerian city of Larsa, conquered all of Mesopotamia in 1757, and wrote down his law code in 1755. The empire lasted for well over 1,000 years, so if you do decide to take a Babylonian history course with someone who has a PhD in history, I think you'll be very fascinated with that millennium-long history. Babylonia came to a decline during the 500s BC. In 587, the Babylonian Empire laid waste to the Hebrew kingdom of Judah, especially its capital city, Jerusalem. You see, in the western part of West Asia, right on the shores of the Mediterranean Sea, there were two kingdoms, Judah and Samaria. As the names of these kingdoms imply, the religion of Judah was Judaism, while the religion of Samaria was Samaritanism. But the people of both kingdoms spoke Hebrew. Another name for the Hebrews was the Israelites. However, going back to the Babylonians, their conquest of Judah began the period of Babylonian captivity for the Jews. Eventually, Cyrus the Great, the king of the Persian Empire, annexed the Babylonian Empire in 539, and then he liberated the Jews. This was the end of Babylonia as an independent empire. However, it took many more conquests for Babylonian culture to finally become lost in time and confined to the relics of the past. Alexander the Great, as you might have already learned back in high school, founded the Greek Macedonian Empire, but it managed to capture Babylonia from the Persian Empire. In fact, Alexander wanted to turn Babylon, the capital of Babylonia, into the capital of his own empire. So far, everything I've said about Babylonia can be found in this Encyclopedia Britannica article, the link to which I have inserted into the description below. If you look at the map of the Roman Republic, you'll see that they managed to seize Babylonia for themselves. Remember, this is the Roman Republic, not the Roman Empire. To capture the ancient civilization of Babylonia speaks volumes about the power of a mere republic. Obviously, once the Roman Republic became the bigger and stronger Roman Empire, they kept Babylonia within their borders. But after hundreds of years, the Roman Empire split into the Western Roman Empire and the Byzantine Empire. You might be under the misconception that the Byzantine Empire seceded from the Roman Empire and instituted its own government, but I'll address that misconception in my series on ancient Rome. Right now, just be aware that the Byzantine Empire did not keep Babylonia as you would expect the eastern half of the Roman Empire to do. For reasons that I will cover in my series on ancient Rome, the birth of the Byzantine Empire also marked the end of the entire Roman Empire sovereignty over Babylonia. That is how Babylonia became a fallen civilization. Its Akkadian language went extinct. You could never discover its mathematical achievements until the 21st century. So there you have it, the history of ancient Mesopotamia in a nutshell, of course. Next week, we will finally begin our series on ancient India, which might actually be the second oldest civilization in the world, but I would have to start researching ancient India before I can confirm that. Join me in a few minutes for a Psychology 01 lecture in which we wrap up not my series on mental experiences, but my lectures on the mental experience of thought as mental images.